while I was there supporting some of my
my
organization and,
Yeah,
sharing what I could, but met some interesting people.
good. Yeah, I look forward to connecting tomorrow. We'll come up with a time. Just reach out tomorrow and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm good.
Very good. Welcome, everyone. We'll be getting started in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, I missed you guys. I've been busy.
Yeah, you're always busy.
Well, we did that Vegas run and then back to Salt Lake and then got here and had to play catch up. So now I'm blocking off some time and trying to get
Awesome.
I's dotted and T's crossed and get back to focusing in on what we need to do here.
Very cool. Very cool.
Hey, Dr. Jerry. This is Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, welcome.
Hi. I thought I'd give Poppy tonight.
You thought what?
I can tell Poppy's story tonight.
I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Always appreciate it when you jump in.
Dr. Jerry, do you know?
Go ahead.
Do you know about Parson Russell Terriers?
Not a lot. Kristen Ludlow would, and I see Gloria Boyne might. She's on.
What is it you're volunteering me for?
I have a Westie,
Yeah.
so
Sorry,
carrier mom too.
Sorry, my thing is really broken. It's okay. What was I being volunteered for?
I know. We'll be getting started here momentarily.
Oh, okay.
Oh, welcome. Testimonial Tuesday. We're officially at the top of the hour. And we will mute everyone and we'll record this. Okay.
Recording in progress.
Welcome everyone to the May 20th, 2025 Pet Club 24/7 call. And it is Testimonial Tuesday. That's my favorite call of the week. And I'm looking forward to this one for sure. And we'll do just a real quick overview of how this all got started. And it was started by three very dedicated owners who opened the door via a healthy pet idea, a pet company, a pet supply company. And the reason was they had this amazing immune modulator that was powerfully changing lives. 9 out of 10 people, no matter what was going on with people. And it literally scared them because of the regulatory restrictions that our current regulatory health arena is just way overbearing. And when something works this well, they were just made them afraid. And they were actually having a cookout, and one of their dogs had to be put down because of cancer. And two other individuals in that cookout chimed in and said their dogs had to be put down with cancer. And they looked into it and they saw that the pet marketplace was being heavily challenged with health issues and a very accelerated pace of degeneration and increasing crisis of health conditions in pets. And they wondered if this would work with pets. And when they looked into it, they found out that the University of Pennsylvania was already studying. It was a veterinarian school, was already studying with cancer, and dogs, a very aggressive form of cancer, was being tested. And dogs on this particular mushroom, the Coriolis versicolor, were living 3 to 4 times longer than the ones that were not taking that with the same cancer. So they knew that it worked with pets, and they decided what a great place to bring this into the marketplace. And it was great. I mean, and it still is. Yeah, pets are turning around, and it's amazing. I get calls all the time. Dogs, horses, cats, goats. We hear about chickens. It doesn't matter. All mammals, and even turtles. We've heard some turtle stories. Anyway, it just flat out works. And what had originally happened was one of the founders, his mother was diagnosed with a severe lung affliction and was at Sloan Kettering. And they did everything they could medically possible. And at the end of all of that, they gave her about 2 months to live, to get her go home and get her affairs in order. Well, the son, who was future founder of this company, was calling family members and friends and letting them know the dire situation. And one was a cousin who lived in Japan, who happened to be a physician working with this Coriolis versicolor mushroom with a team of researchers and scientists and doctors, literally standardizing it. And in Japan, a lot of research has gone into it. In fact, they've been able to, using modern technology, to figure out and track that there's over 200 varieties of Coriolis versicolor globally. And all of those different varieties have different potencies. And through modern technology, they were able to track what actually made it so effective for thousands of years, why the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Romans used all throughout Asia, traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, why it was so effective and so popular to be used as a longevity formula, as a health and wellness formula. And they found some amazing things. Through modern technology, they found a broad array of bioactive polysaccharides, also known as glucans. And these glucans are very beneficial for our body, for various systems. It's very supportive for gut function and liver function and brain function. And you combine all of that and look at the immune system, it supports the immune system in a very powerful way. So they had isolated what made it work. So they started tracking the most potent one and going after that one. And they found these various polysaccharides, they found among them PSK, polysaccharide protein, and polysaccharide crestin. And it was in fact polysaccharide crestin, PSK, that was found to be extremely tumor suppressive. But PSP was also had these amazing effects like antiviral, antibacterial, et cetera. And other of the glucans, they found different modulating capacities, anti-inflammatory, modulate the immune system, all of these different things, all in one particular whole food. It's just it's an amazing thing that they found through research, which validated thousands of years of use. But through their technology, they were able to isolate the most potent and pure variety. Then they noticed that even that variety had different, as they tested it, had different activity and different polysaccharide profiles. So they found the most potent time was mycelium phase, which was counterintuitive. Most people harvest it when it's actually fruited body because you get more biomass. You can actually make more money because you get more product. But the mycelium is the potency is exponentially more powerful. And there was a broader array of these beneficial polysaccharides. So that's where they focused. And then they focused on how they can extract it and maintain the integrity of all of these wonderful ingredients. And they came up with that. Well, upon hearing of this dire situation of Simon Liu's mother, this cousin said, would she try it? And of course, the son said, absolutely. They're giving her no hope. So they expressed it over. Long story short, 4.5 months later, she was back at Sloan Kettering because she was feeling so good. She went back in. She didn't have an appointment. She just went back in to tell them, look, I'm feeling great. I know you told me I had at most 2 months to live. Here it's 4.5 months later. What's going on? The doctors were shocked. And they ran all of the tests and they found no evidence of disease. And they thought that was impossible. And what did you do? Was their question. And when they heard what it was, they said, that's hard to even believe, but we need to study it. That's where the studies began. And that was at Sloan Kettering. And it was so, the results of the studies were so amazing that MD Anderson started studying it. And they found the same thing. It went to Loma Linda University and to Harvard, and the American Cancer Society picked it up, sponsored studies all around the country to the tune of hundreds of studies, all saying the same things. Now that's true science. When you have thousands of years of empirical evidence, where you have all of the use of this for millennia, and then you have modern science validated, and then the most prestigious institutions in the world all validated with the same conclusions, you have to realize you have something amazing, and they did. But they were a little bit afraid of what to do with it, which was too bad. But 2 years into the pet company, with pets just turning around dramatically, like we've experienced with our dog, that just we were ready to put him down, and now he's got a new lease on life. So we get it. If we watched that happen, if we just thought these were pet products, we would actually start eating he was taking mush ponies because he's such a big dog. We'd start eating those. I'd start eating them. In fact, I've taken a couple bites of them myself. They're made in human grade food kitchens. They're all 100% whole food. They're non-GMO. It's all organic and tested for any impurities, every batch, not just randomly, every batch. So the cleanliness of the facility is extremely high. So it's all human grade. But anyway, the people started eating these and demanding human product. Well, they knew that they had been used for humans thousands of years. So they said, we'll make a compromise. We'll put a human product on our website with one caveat. We will not allow human testimonials. They just want to keep it safe. So that's how it's been going. And now it's about 50-50 human and pet in terms of their business. But pets benefit and humans benefit, and that's just an amazing thing, and it's an amazing story. I love this night, this Testimonial Tuesday, and we have someone on here. In fact, I started taking this in January because I had a lung affliction, not as serious as the mother of Simon Liu, but it was some kind of virus. And I've been in functional medicine for 45 years. And I just thought, I know what to do, and I was doing it, but it wasn't getting better. That's what shocked me. After 3-4 days, it wasn't getting better. It was actually getting worse. And the night times were especially bad. And so I was talking with Kurt and Kristen, and they expressed me some product, and I started taking it. And 2 days, my lungs cleared up. And then we watched our dog completely age regress. Literally, he'd lost most of his fur. By 2 weeks in, his fur was regrowing. By 2 months in, his fur looks like it did maybe 4 years ago, at least 3 years ago. He looks amazing. He plays every day now, and he wasn't doing that. He was gagging all the time when he ate, and he had lumps in his throat at 11 years old. And I figured it was probably some kind of cancer. I didn't want to take him in and put him through the ordeal. But now his throat is clear. He doesn't gag anymore, and we have our dog back. Well, right around the end of January, I was talking with a friend of mine. It might have been the first part of February. I can't remember the exact day. But it was very early on. I was talking to a dear friend of mine for many years, Bill Kraft. And Bill was telling me that he had a sister-in-law that was struggling. And we happened to have her husband on tonight, DJ. And DJ is going to tell us her story. And it's a pretty amazing story. And I really want to salute DJ and congratulate him for stepping up and sharing this story, because I think it will inspire many people. DJ, if you can unmute, please do so. Are you there?
There I am.
Awesome. Thank you, DJ. I really, really appreciate you being here and sharing your story with us. It's one of great impact, and I really, really appreciate hearing it. And I just heard it for myself just a few days ago.
Okay. So our ordeal started here in December. We had quite a winter. Briefly, my wife had cancer 6 years ago. and went through the normal process of cutting, burning, and poisoning. And she survived it. And 5 years later, she's cancer free. So they felt success. Well, a year later, which was last year, something went wrong and she started having this cough that wouldn't go away. December 5th, we went into the emergency room because she was in so much pain. And they tested her and they said, your right lung cavity is full of fluid. And that is 99% sure that that's cancer. So they said, your breast cancer has come back and it's in your lung cavity. So that's not the news you wanted to hear. And so, but we went home and we immediately began to pray. We said, Lord, if you want this healed, then you guide us and you show us what to do. So, as you know, if you're diagnosed with cancer, it takes them 2 months to ever do anything. So in the process, she kept having this pressure in her chest from all this fluid. So they started draining it out the back. They would puncture the back through the ribs and they would drain out a liter or more, up to 1.5 liters at a time. But they had to stop there because you get air pockets in there and then it's really bad and they have to do surgery. And so they won't take out too much. But when they'd get 1 liter or more out, it was still 2 liters left inside. It didn't relieve the pain. And so she was in this terrible pain. And the cancer, when they eventually did a PET scan, was metastasized onto the bones, so the ribs and the backbone. And if you know anything about cancer, that's one of the most painful things you can get is bone cancer. So she's in this terrible pain and they're not really doing anything. And we keep draining this 8 times. She had her chest drained. And again, in terrible pain. So finally we get an appointment to go to the oncologist and he wants to start her on chemo, of course. Now he says, we can't heal it, but we can extend your life and you can live for a few years. But we've seen that happen. We've seen people be miserable and have more life, but be miserable. And so we talked about, we didn't know if we really wanted to do that. So we prayed about it. And we went into the meeting where they were going to describe what they're going to do and the side effects and so forth. So we're in the room with an assistant who's telling us all this. And after they go through it all, it's like we took this and we says, we're not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. And to our shock, the assistant said, well, the door's closed and I'm going to not say this, but I'm saying it. I wouldn't do it either. Well, that was the answer we're looking for. So he says, okay, Lord, we aren't going to do that. We don't know what we're going to do, but that's not it. So we went home. And again, she's been in pain this whole time, incredible pain. And she's taking oxycodone. They gave her a prescription, lifetime prescription for unlimited amounts of oxycodone. So you know what they expected. So we go home and we say, well, now what are we going to do? Well, amazingly, within the hour, Cousin Bill called. And he said, you know, I was not going to get into any more of these multi-level things like this, but I got this call from Jerry, and this is special because you should listen to this. So he sent us a video, and we watched a video of Kristen and explaining what had happened, how this started. And immediately we looked at each other and said, this is what we're supposed to do. So we ordered the mushrooms, started taking them, and in 5 days, she was starting to feel better. And we said, maybe this is going to work. And then she turned around and started feeling worse. Well, what had happened was, because of all the fluid, they'd installed a chest drain. And it was supposed to drain the fluid out so she didn't build up pressure. And then they drained all the fluid out and relieved the pressure, which helped. But she still had this tremendous pain all the time, taking oxy and just couldn't get over it. And then she started downhill. Well, what had happened was the hospital had caused an infection into her chest cavity. So now it wasn't just cancer, it was a massive infection. So we went back in the hospital and she stayed there for almost a month while they're treating this infection. But during that time, I kept bringing the mushrooms to her and she kept taking, because this is what we're supposed to do. Well, she'd been in there almost a month, and right at the end, this started December 5th. This was the 1st of March. And she'd been taking the mushrooms and one day she says, I don't have any pain. And I don't need that oxycodone. And they'd come in every 6 hours. What's your pain level? Well, I don't have any pain. And okay, well, we won't give you any. So that was great. And so we went home and they put this drain, a different drain in, and it was still draining her chest fluid, and it kept coming and coming. And then little by little, I'll make it short. It's a long story, but the fluid started slowing down. We get less and less and less of it until finally there wasn't any drainage from the cancer. And if you know anything about cancer, if you have cancer internally, the weeping, the fluid is just unending, and everybody experiences that. Well, the fluid stopped, the pain stopped. What's happened? Well, you got one conclusion: the cancer's gone. But they couldn't say that. We asked them, well, why is this happening? They wouldn't say. Well, we don't really know. So long and the short of it is, we went last week into the oncologist, and we walked in, and first thing he says, we'd been with him a couple months earlier, and we told him we weren't going to do this treatment. He says, well, good luck. He says, I'll support you any way I can. But you could read it in his voice and his attitude, like, okay, you're going to go home and you're going to be in pain and you're going to die. So we come back in, and first thing he says, well, you're doing better than I expected. Well, that's good. Well, you have any pain? No. Well, what do you think's happening? Well, I don't know. It says, can you do a PET scan to definitively determine what's happening with the cancer? And he hemmed and hawed, and he says, well, are you going to change your treatment? I said, no. He says, well, then it would just be out of curiosity, so there's no need to do that. Now, that shocked me. If I were a doctor and I saw this happen, I would be curious. But he said, no, we won't do that. So we don't have a definitive test because he wouldn't do it. But there's no pain, there's no fluid. Then we went to another doctor who was dealing with the infection. It was another type of doctor. And we went in to talk to her. And same thing. And I asked her, well, what do you conclude? I said, there's no pain and there's no fluid. What would you? Well, she had a lot of treatments. She had a lot of this. Hemmed and hawed, couldn't say it. And so my conclusion, my observation is, they don't want to admit that there's something other than what they do that actually helps. So today, she's not in pain. She doesn't have cancer fluid. Now she has an infection that the hospital gave her when they did this tube that is still active. So we have an infection in the chest called empyema. And we're dealing with that, but the cancer's gone. And, we're just praising God and living our life. And the oncologist they said, well, he says, you're looking good. He says, just keep doing what you're doing and live your life.
Wow. Well, TJ, thank you for that story. That's amazing. It's very disappointing that they don't want to validate it.
No.
You'd think, it's just, I guess it just flies so far in the face of their belief that they don't want to go there. Wow. Well, thank you for that story. A lot of people will give them heart that are dealing with these kind of situations. So thank you, DJ. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Continued good success and good health. We have, I want to call up, is it Yokohana?
Hi, yes, it's Yoka Johanna.
Yoka?
And
Okay.
don't be fooled. I'm not
Johanna.
Japanese. I'm Dutch. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, it sounds Japanese.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well,
So,
thank you, Yoka.
thank you. It's a pleasure to be on to share my little story.
Awesome.
If I may, February 2nd of 2024, I blacked out and hit a tree at full speed while driving home. The tree, I typed it so that I could condense it. I don't want to go on and on. So the tree and airbags saved my life and those of others. I broke my sternum and ribs. I had 2 hip replacements, 2 knee replacements. I have titanium in my thighs, my legs, and knee replacements. And the last surgery was in December of last year for my foot and left foot. The heel wouldn't come down when I walked, and the other one is a drop foot. So after 14 months, I came home after a very long time. My caregiver and friend took off my space boots. These were heavy duty boots. I needed two men to almost carry me to bed. I screamed and cried in pain. At 2 a.m., I realized I can't forgive me for being emotional, but it was so recent, it was just so recent. I realized I can't live without my boots to support and protect me, just to walk from the bed to the bathroom. Like, my God, I was in so much pain, worse than after any of my surgeries, and my angel Fifi called to check on me. She knew I was coming home. She told me her story of her fall and pain and was given the mushroom by a friend. She was walking the next day without pain and her walker and could sleep without pain. She told me how she got the mushroom. I asked, how can I buy it? I jumped in and bought a box with $500, and I wished I had bought the $1,000 box. I already gifted 5 friends who have been so good to me. I took 4 capsules and immediately, or it could have been 6 or more, but I just said, this is it. I knew it. My intuition was so keen that the next morning my friend put on my boots. I walked. I was shocked to experience no pain. I had energy to boot. So, sorry.
That's all right.
I had energy to boot. So I walked around my whole house with no pain. I lay down. She took off my boots, and after dinner, I had to use the bathroom. Do you want me to put on your boots? No, I said, my intuition said barefoot. I, I was in shock. Can you imagine? And I walked to the bathroom and back and have stopped wearing my boots since then. Never put the boots on since. Yes, I still shake and perspire with the effort, but it's a miracle. I have a pure wick like they have in hospitals. It's a motorized canister where with tubing it sucks up the urine while I get a good night's sleep. The original color went from dark orange brown to almost clear today, a week later. I had a bad burning UTI. I chose no more antibiotics in the nursing home. Instead, I use D-mannose and cranberry juice at home. Excuse me, I gotta stop this call at home. And my friend Lisa told me to just hang in there, take your stuff and the mushrooms, and the D-mannose and cranberry was maybe making my urine so heavily discolored. No, I said, I feel it's my kidneys and liver detoxing. Now I'm praying my bed sores will heal. What an amazing miracles in less than a month. I'm overjoyed and so grateful. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. That is awesome, Yoka. Thank you so much.
My
Uh,
pleasure. My pleasure.
God
My
bless you. Keep up the great work
yeah, thank you.
and keep us posted.
I sure will.
Okay, we have Richard McFarland. Richard, are you there? If you can unmute. I see you.
Okay, I'm on.
There you go. There you go.
My testimony isn't nearly as dramatic as those two young people. Wow, that's amazing. But I did, I've been very healthy for a long time. I don't know the last time I ever went to the doctor or had any health issues. But one of the things I did work on was weight. I hit 204. I'm 5'6", and so I'd been working out, and this year I got really serious. I've gotten down 62 pounds. I think I'm at 142.
Wow.
So, but I've been running, and I'm going to pull up my chart here because I kept track of the kind of times I was running. And back in April, before I started on the products, I was running about look, one here is 12 minutes and 15 seconds a mile. And anybody knows about running, especially when I'm 77 years old, that's, that's an okay time, 10 to 12 minutes.
It's pretty good.
But I started upping my dose to see if because the one thing I was dealing with was hamstring issues, and I couldn't seem to get my speed up because my hamstrings would hurt. and in some cases I had to take a week or 2 weeks off. Last Saturday, I think it was last Saturday, I'm trying to see what the date was, the 17th. I ran a 5K at 7 minutes and 55 seconds a mile,
Wow.
which is unheard of. I mean,
Wow.
I've knocked like 3.5 minutes a mile off my 5K time, and no quad issues, no hamstring issues.
Crazy.
Just, so from a healthy standpoint, I did not expect that kind of result. I was, again, I do a lot of mushrooms. I've been doing mushrooms for 3 or 4 years. I've been
Right.
steady as a vegetarian. I'm very healthy. But for me to see that kind of drop in time, knowing that I mean, I've run marathons and I know that it takes months to get
Right.
minutes off your time. And this happened in less than like 3 minutes a mile in less than a month and a half or so.
That's phenomenal. What were your dosage? What were you taking, and what
I've been taking 3 in the morning and 3 at night.
of the
So up to
Enforce?
6. They said like 1 for every 50 pounds. So I was doing double that.
Right. Wow.
So I'm doing 6 a day. And sometimes I started spreading them out. I'm doing 2 in the morning now, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 at night.
Right.
I think that seems to be about the right dosage for me.
Right.
I don't
That's
know
awesome.
that if I overdose or take more, maybe I can get down another 2 minutes.
That's what I did 6 a day of the Enforce as well. So that's what cleared me up. But
Yeah.
now I'm down to 4, so I might go back to 6 after hearing this, and I might start running again.
Yeah. Well, I set a goal, and this was a kind of an offshoot, but my brother passed away last year in July, and he had run 1,535 days in a row.
Wow.
And they found him, and I'm sure it was because of the clot shot.
Yeah.
And I made a commitment to run this year 535 miles, which is 4.2 miles a day. And as of right now, I'm on track. And those kind of miles from basically I think last year I did like 600 miles. But I'm on track right now for the 1,500 miles for the year.
Wow. That is awesome, Richard. Congratulations. Wow.
So, and I also want to acknowledge Fifi for we've been friends for a couple of years now, and my God, what a wonderful sponsor. Yeah, I mean,
She's amazing.
Yeah, it got goosebumps. I had her on the phone with somebody last night, and I'm in awe of the wisdom and knowledge that she shares and brings to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, this company has, and by the way, I owned a network marketing company at one point. We were the first deregulated electricity company in the state of California in '99.
I
And we got
recognized your
basically
name.
put
I
out
thought
business.
your name. Yeah, I thought your name was familiar.
Yeah, Boston Fame. I had 8,000 account reps, and we did $2 million in business in the first 6 months. And AGs put us out of business because we were a threat to San Diego Gas and Electric. So, we couldn't go, but we laid all the groundwork for ACN and Ambient and Stream and
Nice.
those guys. So, but that was the reason I brought that up is that was my last real venture into network marketing. I mean, I buy lots of network marketing products, but I hadn't had the desire to build anything.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So this one, man, I'm looking at, just to give you an example, I mean, I pulled this up. Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports is promoting going into shelters, dog shelters and pet shelters. And I'm going, well, why don't I just look him up on Instagram and go after a guy like that? Because, that'll massively put our product into the hands of people that need it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this company is attracting the right people. It's got the heart.
Yeah.
From the owners, and then Kurt and Kristen, and attracting people like Fifi and yourself. It's amazing. So it's great to be here. Great to see you here, and to put a face with the name that I've known for many years. Thank you, Richard. That's awesome.
Thank you.
We're going to go now to the other coast. We're going to go to Jennifer Meadows. Jennifer, tell us. We're going to lighten it up here a little bit with a puppy story.
Yeah, I just these testimonials have just been so amazing, and yeah, mine's pretty light, but meaningful for me. I have a Shih Tzu Yorkie. He's going to be 16 years old, and he was blind, and I don't know if you've been around blind dogs, but they don't walk; they just stand there. And so when I'd take him out, to go potty, I'd have to place him. So anyway, it was not a really great way to spend time with my puppy. And so he got on the products, and he's seeing now. I don't know what he can see, but he's getting around really well. His cognitive issues are going away. He was so confused, and now he's less confused. He still gets here once in a while, but he had a terrible inflammation on his coat, very itchy. I felt so sorry for him, and I didn't want to go to the vet, because you go to the vet, they'll go ahead and give him a shot, which I didn't want. But that's gone. His fur has come in now with color, and he had lost his color. And his walking has gotten better and better. Every day seems to be better, where now he can actually get up and down off of curbs before I'd have to pick him up. He's pretty tiny. He's only, his shoulders to the floor is 8 inches, so he's pretty short. A lot different than your dog, Dr. Jerry. But he's really great. If he's in a problem, I can just pick him up. But I guess, I just see all these improvements. Oh, and also now, he never did this before. Anyway, he'll go to the door when he wants to go potty and start making noises. He's never done that before. And and then the other thing is, he used to go out on my deck and he'd find leaves and twigs, and he'd bring them in and he'd get a treat. He hasn't done this probably well over a year, because he couldn't see, and he just didn't. And now he's bringing in twigs, and he can find me where he didn't even know where I was, and he'll bring them right to my feet and plan on getting a treat. So that's part of my wonderful story about my little dog.
Love it.
And
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, what are you giving your little doggy? Is it the super sauce, the cookies? What exactly?
Okay, so he's getting the, oh shoot, they have, let me go, hold on, I have to get it. He's getting super sauce. He's getting, oh gosh, he's getting the mush puppies, but I found some that have the mush puppy plus, so I'm giving that to him, and he seems to be responding better for that. He also gets the Bucky Bites, which are the antlers that are ground up. And let's see what else. He already gets the Mojos. I bribe him with those when I want to cut his toenails, and actually he behaves because he loves his Mojos. And I think that's. Oh, and then I think that's mush puppies. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I know, that's good. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, but it all's working for him. Yeah, and he just keeps getting better. It's so much fun. He's getting his whole self back. I'm getting my dog back.
Oh yeah, it is. It's great to get your dog back. That's what I've experienced that too.
Right.
Never happened to me before. I've had dogs my whole life, and once they go into that decline, that's it. You can just tell. I've never had one bounce back like this.
Well, I as Poppy started aging, and he didn't want to go for walks. He didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. I started feeling so sorry for all the people out there that are playing with their dogs and walking him and playing ball. And I thought, in just such a short time, that's going to change. And then
They stop.
the horrible veterinarian bills, and then,
Yeah.
bad stuff. So we have something that can change that. And that's what keeps me going. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Great story. Thank you. It gives me goosebumps hearing you say that. Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Well, we did have great testimonials tonight. Really appreciate everyone that did step up. It's just powerful. And I want to let people know everyone is going to be a little bit different. There's something about our immune system that's tapped into what I call innate intelligence. And it goes far beyond what we can conceptualize. But innate intelligence knows what our body needs. And it's not always in the order that we think it should be. But know this, that we are in different stages of degeneration as we get older. Like once you achieve a certain age and you begin to feel that decline, you know that there's degeneration. I've seen it. I'll be 69 this August, and I've seen, the changes beginning and the difficulties beginning. So we're all in some stage of degeneration. And it's accelerated by the environment that we currently live in the world, with 80,000 approved chemicals. It finds its way into our air, food, and water, our personal care items, our building materials, the clothes we wear. You can't avoid it. And on top of that, all of the different communication technologies kind of, creating ionizing radiation that works against our life. Even the health and the healthcare system using in by and large chemicals and things that don't work with that innate intelligence. Sometimes it's necessary, but it doesn't work together with the innate intelligence. So we are all have degrees of challenge. And this is just a tool to support what the body is attempting to do to express that wellness for as long as it possibly can. And when you start on these mushroom protocols, and Richard said it, he'd taken mushrooms, I had taken mushrooms, all kinds of combinations of mushrooms. I had used remedies in functional medicine for the past 40 years. I've never seen results like we're getting with this Inforce product. It made a huge difference, the fact that they actually standardized it around the most pure and potent strain. Exponentially different. Never seen it this effective. So we need to pay attention. And now our product is the product that's been studied by Sloan and MD Anderson and Loma Linda and Harvard. It's our product. It's not some version of what we have. It's what we have. So it's just common sense to use it, because we know our body needs support. And if there's something that we can do to support it through all of the challenges that we face on a daily basis, I think it would be, like Dr. Stansfield used to say, a special form of stupid if we don't take it. But anyway, folks, I'm just happy to be a part of this team. I'm happy I found this company, and the company is attracting the right people, and it's attracting all of you. And if you are here for the first time, definitely get back to whomever told you about this ASAP, because it's growing very fast. And when I started calling people back in February, no one had heard of it. But now when I reach out, people have heard of it, many people, but not all. We're still just beginning. This is going to be 100 times the size it is right now in a year. And it's largely because of what this group right here is going to do. So congratulations on being here. You're all true leaders. And we really, really appreciate you. And there's a couple of websites you can check. PetSystemGuide.com. Great, lot of resources there. PetSystemGuide.com. And another one I see Judy here, Judy Womack, she put up Learn About PC, stands for Pet Club, of course. Thank you, Judy, for that site. It's great, quick, easy reference site. learnaboutpc.com. And we'll be back again on Thursday. And Liddy Floms calls it Thirsty for Thursday. There'll be more information coming out on Thursday, so we'll all be thirsty for Thursday. God bless you guys. We'll see you on Thursday. And don't forget, there's a training tomorrow. Every Wednesday, Hernan does a training. And it's on the compensation. So plug in. We've got a WhatsApp group now where we post. And all the information will be there. So if you're not on that group, contact someone in the team and they'll give you the invite link. So thank you. God bless. And we'll see
Thanks,
you
Dr.
on
Jerry.
Thursday.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
doctor.
Thank you, Shelley.
Sweetheart, this is so
Okay.
Thank
So
you,
much,
everyone.
all the-
Everyone that shared, thank you.
That
Thank
is
you.
just amazing.
Bye, Hernan.
Bye.
See you guys later. Thursday.
See you later.